pi is 3.14159265. But you came here for Pocket Roni, so please stay tuned.
Okay, we're going to be doing conversions today. If you look at 28A1, we're going to be converting 84 inches. That is the symbol for inches. And we're going to be converting it to feet. In the Matthew C book, they call it unit multipliers. I don't call it that. I call it conversion factors. We are converting from one unit to another unit. So, to me, the easiest way to do these is always to start with what you know. You know 84 inches. So, start with 84 inches. There's my 84 inches. To convert, you will always multiply what you start with a conversion factor. Okay? Units cancel just like numbers cancel. Okay? To make any number a fraction, you can put it over 1. So basically, we're going to have a fraction multiplied to a fraction. Our conversion factor will be a fraction. So if I have inches in the numerator, in order for it to cancel and go away, I need to put it in the denominator in my conversion factor. Because I want my inches and inches to go away and to cancel, because I'm trying to get rid of my inches so that I have the units of feet. So now my inches cancel, so therefore my feet, what I'm wanting to go to, goes up in the numerator. So again, how did I know to put inches in the denominator here? I'm starting with inches here in the numerator, so therefore over here it has to go in the denominator in order for it to cancel. Therefore, feet has to go into the numerator. Okay? Now, if you look in the back of your workbook, somewhere around page 435, there is a conversion chart for you. By now, I hope you all know that there are 12 inches in a foot. If you don't know that, then you can always go back to your chart in the back of your book. There's one in the back of your workbook, and there's one in the back of your instruction book. If you don't have either one of those, you can Google conversion factors, and you can find something online. So, if you know that there's 12 inches in 1 foot, then the 12 goes with the inches. So 12 goes right here with inches, and the 1 goes with foot, right there. So if you set up conversions just like this, it will automatically tell you if you have to multiply or divide. Not to say I don't want you to think, but it takes the thinking out. It takes into consideration the thinking for you. So then your calculations show you whether you have to divide or multiply. That way there's no mistake in trying to figure it out. This is just like multiplying fractions, numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator. And so you see your inches cancel, and the only thing you're left with is foot, and that's good because we're trying to go to feet. So now it just becomes 84 times 1 is 84, 1 times 12, 12, 84 divided by 12, 6, no, 7, 7 times 2, 14, okay, making sure I did my math right, and the only unit you have left is feet. So 84 inches is the same as 7 feet. Okay, let's go to 28C, number 7. We're trying to convert ounces to pounds. This is the symbol for ounces, OZ. You will know the difference between my Z and my 2. My Z has a line through it, my 2 does not. Otherwise, they look very similar. So 32 ounces to however many pounds, start with what you know. So you start with 32 ounces. We're going to multiply that by a conversion factor. Our conversion factors will always be a fraction. I can turn my 32 ounces into a fraction by putting it over 1. So now I decide, what is my conversion factor? Well, if ounces is in the numerator here, and I want ounces to go away, because I want ounces to go away so that I can have pounds. So if ounces is in the numerator here, then for it to cancel, it has to go in the denominator over here. So now my ounces cancel, so the only place left for my pounds to go is in the numerator. Now, if you look at your conversion chart, you will see that there are 16 ounces. There are 16 ounces is 1 pound. By the way, that's a symbol for pounds. So 16 ounces is in 1 pound. So my 16 goes with my ounces. Ounces is down here, so 16 goes right there. 1 goes with my pound, so 1 goes up there. When you see that my ounces cancel, the only unit I have left is pounds. That is good because that's what I'm wanting to try to go to. Now this just becomes multiplying fractions. Numerator to numerator, 32. Denominator to denominator, 16 pounds. Now reduce that fraction. 32 divided by 16 is 2 pounds. So 32 ounces is the same thing as 2 pounds. Okay, let's jump down here to 28B1. We're going to be dealing with metric units. If you are in my class, I give you a copy of all your metric conversions. If you are not in my class, again, you can Google this and find conversions for metric units. We're starting with 14 meters and we are wanting to go to centimeters. So always start with what you know. Okay, we were starting with meters. Turn any number into a fraction by putting it over 1. We're going to multiply by a conversion factor. A conversion factor will be a fraction. This is why I recommend making this a fraction. That way your work looks like you have a fraction multiplied to a fraction. I'm starting with meters, but I want to get rid of meters to go to centimeters. So if my meters is in the numerator here, in order for it to go away, it needs to be in the denominator here for them to cancel. Which means my centimeter only has one place to go, in the numerator. Okay? Now, if you look at your conversion chart, you are told that 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. 100 goes with my centimeters. So 100 goes up here with my centimeters. 1 goes with my meter, so that goes there. After your units cancel, if meters cancel, you're only left with centimeters, and that's a good thing. Let me rewrite this down here. 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So now we're just multiplying our fractions across. 14 times 100, 1400. My units cancel with my meters, so I'm only left with centimeters. 1 times 1 is 1. No point of writing it 1400 over 1. 1400 divided by 1 is still just 1400. So 14 meters is 1,400 centimeters. If you set your conversion factors up properly, then it shows you, your calculations show you if you're going to multiply or divide by your conversion factor. You don't have to think about it if you set it up like this. Alright, let's look at 28B10. We're going to start with 67,000 milliliters, and we're trying to get to liters. If you look at your conversion chart, everything is in meters, but there is a note at the bottom saying you can substitute the word meters for liters and grams. So in other words, 100 up here, 100 centiliters is the same thing as 1 liter. So everywhere you see the word meter, you can put in the word liter instead of meter. Same with grams. 100 centigrams is 1 gram. All right, like this. 100 centiliters equals 1 liter, or 100 centigrams is 1 gram. The words on your paper, it shows meter, but liter and gram can be replaced for the word meter. Everywhere you see the word meter, and it's the same thing. So we're going to start with 67,000 milliliters. So I always start with what I know. 67,000 milliliters. I'm going to turn it into a fraction. Why? Because I'm going to multiply it by a conversion factor that will be a fraction. So if I have milliliters here in the numerator, it means I need to have it down here in the denominator for it to cancel. I want my milliliters to go away, which means liters have to go here. I only want to have liters left because that's what I want to end up with when I'm done. So now go to my conversion chart and I see that should be 1,000 liters in a milliliter, or vice versa. Yeah, 1,000 is vice versa. It's 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. If you look on your paper, it's actually going to say this: 1,000 millimeters equals 1 meter. But everywhere you see the word meter, you can replace it with liter. So milliliters instead of millimeters, liter instead of meter. So it's the same thing. 1,000 milliliters is the same as 1 liter. So now my 1,000 goes with my milliliters. So 1,000 goes right down here with my milliliters, and my 1 goes with my liter right there. Now it's just a matter of multiplying the fractions. 67,000 times 1 is 67,000. 1 times 1,000, 1,000. And my unit that I'm going to have left is liters. Now I can reduce that fraction. All of these zeros basically cancel each other out. Those 3 zeros cancel with those 3 zeros. 67 divided by 1 is just 67. And so it's 67 liters. You want to make sure that whatever unit you have here is what they're wanting you to convert to. Okay, we're looking at 28b7. We have 3,500 liters equals DKL. What is DKL? DK is deca. Okay? So if you have DK, it's going to be deca. That's the prefix. If you just have a D, it's deci. So if you're in my class, you have that on your paper, on your conversion chart. We're looking at liters, but remember, you can look at the ones that say meters and replace the word meter with liters. So on your conversion chart, you find the one that has meters and decameters, DKM, not just D, but DK. So you know that 10, we can replace this with the word liters. 10 liters equals 1 decaliter. So start with what you know of the 3,500 liters. Make that into a fraction because you're going to multiplying it by a conversion factor that is a fraction. I'm starting with liters, but I want it to go away. So if I want liters to go away, I have to put over here, put it in the denominator so it cancels, which means I put my decaliters in the numerator. And that's the only unit I have left. Now I go over here to my conversion factors. 10 liters, so my 10 goes with the word liters, so 10 goes down here. 1 goes with my decaliter, so 1 goes up here. So now it's just multiplying fractions. 3,500 times 1 is 3,500. 1 times 10 is 10. My unit I have left, DKL, which is decaliters. Reduce this fraction, means that 0 cancels with that 0. 3,500 divided by 10 is 350. DKL, 350 decaliters. Now going down to an extra example that's not in your book, but you will come across it in future lessons or in life in general. What if I wanted to convert inches to yards? Some of you might know however many inches in a yard, but let's just say for sake you don't, because it could be converting ounces to tons, to where it takes more than one step. I'm just using inches to yard as an easy example. In my opinion, it's better to go one step at a time. Go inches to feet, or I at least want to show you the process that you can do it one step at a time, just in case it was ounces to tons, inches to feet, and then to yards. If you were going to go ounces to tons, you can go ounces to pounds to tons. You can do one step at a time. So let's start with 144 inches, and I want to convert that to feet. So I need to do a conversion factor, make that a fraction. I want my inches to go away, so that needs to go in the denominator, because this up here is really inches in the numerator. So my inches cancel there, which means my feet goes here. There are 12 inches. 12 goes with inches in 1 foot. So 144 divided by 12 is 12 feet. 144 inches is 12 feet. Now I can convert that into yards. Go through the same process. Turn that into a fraction, multiply by a conversion factor. I want my feet to go away, so feet has to go in the denominator, which means yard has to go in the numerator. I know there are 3 feet, 3 goes with feet, in 1 yard. My feet cancel, I'm left with yard, that's a good thing. Now it becomes 12 times 1, 12, 1 times 3, 3, 12 divided by 3, 4, and my unit left was yard. So there are, in 144 inches, there are 4 yards.